Audio-Technica is a brand that's synonymous with higher-end headphones, specifically for music and sound monitoring, but they haven't exactly been known for anything gaming related, at least until now. This is the new Audio-Technica ATH-G1 gaming headset. Not only did I not even know they made a gaming headset, I was sort of skeptical because when it comes to something made for gaming, that's a whole different ballgame. So I was super curious how Audio-Technica would do in this space. And I have to say, they made a headset that rivals any other gaming headset that's out right now. So first things first, let's talk about what all comes inside the box. You'll get a whole packet of instructions and information, which you won't really need. Everything is pretty straightforward here. Of course, there is the headset itself, and if you're familiar with really any of Audio-Technica's headphones, you'll notice right away that they stuck with the same sort of consistent style and design that they've had for quite some time. The only other accessories inside the package are the detachable mic, which is actually sort of interesting, and a Y-splitter. This is a dual TRRS to TRS adapter, which can be used for PCs and other audio recording devices. So the headset itself is sort of this combination of that consistent Audio-Technica design language on the ear cups, along with an almost industrial design along the headband. You've got a clean and simple Audio-Technica logo and blue accents on the sides, with an adjustable metal headband up top that has almost like vents running across it, and some exposed screws that contribute to that unique design. As far as the adjustability and flexibility, the ear cups swivel and turn and tilt, so there's plenty of opportunity to allow them to sit at the right angle over your ears and your head, and they can lay flat on a table or desk too for easier storage. The headband is very flexible overall, and you won't hear any creaks or cracks when you flex it. Overall, the headset feels very sturdy, but it's pretty lightweight too, and the curvature of the headband isn't as tight or like as firm as some others, which makes things a little more comfortable when they're on your head. I personally like that, but if you want to jump around or shake your head or anything like that, there's a good chance these will probably fly off, so just keep that in mind. You've got a sort of notched adjustment slider for changing the size of the headphones, and once again, that rough exposed design I think looks pretty cool. There's a decent amount of cushion and padding on the ear cups, and it's a soft, breathable material. It's not like a plastic or rubber or leather, so that should make things pretty comfortable when you wear them for long periods of time. And there's of course some more material along the top of the headband. And speaking of the headband, because there's so little material and everything is sort of exposed, you've got one loose wire that runs all the way around it. It's just something to note. It's not a huge deal, and it didn't really bother me. But if you maybe store this headset on a hook or a stand, I'd just watch out and make sure that exposed wire doesn't get caught on anything. I guess maybe I wish they secured it a bit better along the headband just in case. So like I mentioned earlier, the microphone is actually a detachable piece. It's a 2.5mm plug, which is an interesting choice, but if you ever wanted to swap this out for a different one, or maybe if you lose it or break it, you can at least replace it pretty easily. It bends and flexes, which is important because the mic itself is almost more unidirectional, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But getting the right angle and distance from your mouth is pretty important. I think my only criticism with the headset has to do with the wired cable. In general, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a thick and tough feeling cable, and it's a decent length too, about 2 meters or 6.6 feet. So plenty to work with, and I don't see it wearing out or fraying or tearing anytime soon. There's also some very easy to use inline controls for muting the microphone and adjusting the volume, so no complaints there. It's exactly what you'd expect. But unfortunately, it is a permanently attached cable, so if anything ever does happen to it, you're sort of out of luck. I wish the folks at Audio-Technica went with a detachable option, even if it was their older proprietary one that they used to have. I think that would have even been a better option. Again, I don't expect there to ever be a problem with the cable, but if something does happen, there doesn't appear to be any easy way to fix just the cable. Let's jump into the sound quality of the headset and the mic now, since that's probably the most important aspect of any gaming headset. And let me just say up front that these have a pretty unique sound. The ATH-G1s are bass heavy. Not in a bad way at all. They still deliver an excellent sound in-game. They offer a lot of detail, great directional sound, the mids and the highs are there, but the booming bass is really pretty obvious and very present in just about everything I tested. It's punchy for sure, but it isn't overdone. It doesn't get muddy or distorted, which is great. but it's there. And if you're a purist, if you want to hear the game like the developers intended, I don't know that you'll get that with these necessarily. I, for one, though, like the extra bass. I think it adds a more immersive in-game experience and bumps up the intensity a bit more with the sound effects and the music. It's not the sound profile for everyone, I realize that, but for bass heads, I think this is what you've been searching for. The microphone is also a pretty interesting setup as well. Like I mentioned earlier, it's more of a unidirectional mic, so you'll get less background noise from your controller, your keyboard, the TV, people around you, whatever sort of background noise you have to deal with. But that also means that as you start to adjust the mic itself, you may find some decent fall off depending on the angle. This entire video so far has been recorded with the mic on this headset, and I think it does sound great. But here is an example of what happens when I start to turn the mic away from my mouth in either direction. You can tell just how extreme the difference is when things aren't lined up. I like that the background noise is limited, but just keep in mind that you'll need to make sure that the mic is set up straight and proper to get the best sound. Finally, as far as their fit and feel, everything is great. No complaints here. I've worn these for hours at a time now. Played Call of Duty Modern Warfare nonstop these last couple of days, and they felt really great. They're very lightweight, so I don't feel like they're pressing down on my head or pulling down on my ears. And they don't clamp down too harshly either. They're very breathable, both with that vented headband across the top, and the material on the ear cups as well. And overall, they're just a very comfortable headset to wear for long periods of time. All in all, I do really like what Audio-Technica has to offer with these. Whether you're a console gamer or a PC gamer, or maybe you just need a headset for streaming or podcasting or whatever else, this is a really solid option.